Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Ahmed, and in this masterclass, we're about to tackle one of the most important topics for your government exams, the principles of democracy. If you're getting ready for WAEC, NECO, or JAMB, then you are in exactly the right place. All right, I really need you to lock in for this one because this topic isn't just important, it's an absolute game changer. I'm not kidding. Questions on these principles pop up every single year, whether it's in the objectives, the short answers, or the big essays. Mastering this today is a direct path to getting the grade you're aiming for. So, what's on the menu today? Here's our game plan. First, we'll lay a rock-solid foundation of what democracy actually means. Then, we'll dive deep into the core principles, the stuff examiners absolutely love to ask about. After that, the real fun begins. We'll solve actual past questions from WAEC, JAMB, and NECO. And finally, I'll leave you with a super simple success plan to lock it all in. Ready? Let's do this. All right, first things first, we've got to build a really solid foundation because trust me, if you really get the core definition of democracy, you'll find you can figure out the answer to almost any question they throw at you. It all starts right here. So, what is democracy really? At its absolute heart, it's a system where the power belongs to the people. You know, the word itself gives you a perfect clue. It comes from two Greek words, demos, which means people, and kretos, which means rule or power. Put them together, and what do you get? Rule by the people. Simple as that. Seriously. Remember that little breakdown. It's your secret weapon. Okay, so we've got our definition down. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. How does this whole rule by the people thing actually work in the real world? Well, it operates through a set of core principles. And these principles, they are the buzzwords, the key terms that examiners absolutely love to ask about. You use these, you get the marks. Okay, so here they are, the big seven you absolutely have to know. We've got popular sovereignty. That's the big idea that all power comes from the people. Then there's the rule of law, meaning nobody is above the law. We have fundamental human rights, constitutionalism, and of course, separation of powers, with its body, checks and balances. And you can't have democracy without free and fair elections, or without accountability and transparency. We'll touch on all of these. Now, let's just zoom in on two of the biggest pillars for a second. On one side, you have popular sovereignty. This is super straightforward. Power comes from the people. Elections every 4 years, that's the perfect Nigerian example. That's us, the people, giving our consent to be governed. Then on the other side, you have the rule of law. This one is so important. It means nobody, not a citizen, not a government official, not even the president, is above the law. When you see a Nigerian court make a ruling that goes against the government order, that right there is the rule of law in action. Okay, enough theory. You know this stuff. Now it's time for the real test. Let's pretend we're in that exam hall right now and see exactly how WAEC examiners cook up their questions on these principles. This is where you really learn to think like they do. Check this out. This is a real question, hot off the press from the WAEC 2024 paper. Read it carefully. Which factor greatly restrains the government? All of these options look pretty good, right? The press, opposition, the judiciary, they all play a role, but only one is the ultimate restraint. What do you think? Take a second. All right, did you get it? The answer is B, the electorate. Now, why is that? It's because this question is a pure test of popular sovereignty. The ultimate power, the power to hire and more importantly fire a government, belongs to the voters. That is the greatest restraint of all. And look, it's so easy to fall into the trap of picking judiciary. Yes, it's a powerful check, but it's not the ultimate one. The people are. Okay, let's switch gears to an essay question. WAEC wants you to explain the importance of the rule of law. The key word here, and you've got to watch for this, is explain. That's your clue that just listing things isn't going to cut it. You have to show you understand the why. It's a 10-mark question, so in our heads, we should be planning for 5 solid points. So how do you grab all 10 of those marks? It's a formula really. You need 5 clear points and each one needs a short explanation. So you can talk about how it ensures equality, prevents dictatorship, protects our rights, and so on. But don't just stop there. For instance, don't just write prevent arbitrary rule. Add a little something like it prevents arbitrary rule by making sure leaders have to follow the constitution, not just their own whims. See? That little extra bit is what gets you the full 2 marks for that point. Awesome, you're doing great. Let's keep this momentum going and look at some questions from JAMB and NECO. I want you to notice the slightly different ways they test the exact same ideas. When you master these different styles, you become unstoppable. Take a look at this one. This is classic JAMB style. Super direct, straight to the point. It's basically a definition test. In a democratic government, the ultimate source of power is... Come on, if you remember what we talked about just a few minutes ago, this should be a freebie, an easy mark for you. And yep, you guessed it. The answer is C, the people. This is popular sovereignty in its purest form. JAMB loves to check if you know these core foundations. All power flows from the people. Lock that idea in your mind. Alright, let's wrap up our practice with a NECO essay question. This one asks you to discuss how the principle of checks and balances operates. And just like with the WIAC question, you've got to hunt for that key word. Here, it's how. They want the mechanics, the process. They want to see that you understand how the different parts of government interact. So, to nail this answer, you have to give concrete examples of these checks and balances in action. Talk about how the legislature can impeach the president. Explain how the judiciary can strike down a law as unconstitutional. Mention that the executive appoints judges, but the legislature has to approve them. And remember my golden rule. Whenever you can, drop in a specific Nigerian example. Talking about the National Assembly's oversight committees is a perfect way to do that. Okay, we've gone through the theory, we've battled some real exam questions. Now let's wrap this all up into a simple, powerful success plan you can take with you into that exam hall. This is your final exam day checklist. Think of this as your last-minute power-up. 1. If they ask for a list, use bullet points. 2. Always explain your points. 3. Use Nigerian examples. 4. Structure your essays with an intro, body, and conclusion. And 5. A little pro tip. Go read Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution. It's all about our rights and will give you amazing examples to use. And that's a wrap. My goal today was to make you feel completely confident about this topic. You have the knowledge, you have the strategy, you've got this. So please practice what we've learned today. Stay brilliant and go make us proud. Hey, before you click away, if this masterclass helped you out, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. Even better, share it with your classmates. Let's help everyone succeed. And of course, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the next lesson. For tons more practice questions, head over to www.examkp.com. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next one.